Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jonathan E. again from the Thermopylae Information Network. I wanted to do a quick fact alert presentation here where we're going to hit you with some facts regarding President Trump's threat to use a declaration of national emergency to get the wall built. These politicians out there seem to think that this is something that's new and that he's the first one to do something like this. So I want to give you a little information here. Since the law was enacted in 1976, there have been a total of 58 declared national emergencies. 31 of those emergencies are still in effect, including one from 1979, where President Carter declared a national emergency regarding Iran. The issues that some of these national emergencies were declared over are things such as nuclear weapons proliferation, which of course we can agree with. Nobody wants some of these countries out there to have nuclear weapons. But other ones, such as sanctions on Iran, transactions with Hamas and Hezbollah and other terrorist groups, narcotics, Cuba, conflict diamonds, Yemen, Ukraine, Sudan, Yugoslavia, Zimbabwe, piracy in Somalia. Cuba, come on. Cuba's not going to be attacking this country anytime soon. What do conflict diamonds have to do with the national security of this country? I don't think that Ukraine, Sudan, Yugoslavia, or Zimbabwe were in any position to get an army over here to threaten us. And piracy in Somalia, again, that's just a false narrative. A lot of these issues are things that Congress should have been addressing and Congress should have been passing laws on, but they won't. They're cowards. So they go ahead and let a president make the declarations, and then what they do is they just stand by and allow these things to continue. Congress could vote to end any of these national emergencies anytime they want. They never have. There's never been one national emergency declaration that Congress has voted to overturn. Jimmy Carter had one national declared emergency. That one actually had to do with the security of the United States, so I can give him a pass on that one. Ronald Reagan had 0. Bush 1 had 0. And the reason Bush 1 had 0 was because he used his lackeys coming behind him to do the work that he didn't want to do, being that he was a ex-head of the CIA. Bill Clinton had 6. Bush Jr. had 11. President Obama had 10. Now, the ones for Clinton, one of them actually did have to do with the national security of the United States. Bush 2 had 2 of them that had to do with security of the United States. Barack Obama had 0. Every national emergency that he declared had to do with getting involved in some other country's business. President Trump has declared 3 national emergencies up to this point. One of them did have to do with the national security of the United States, and that had to do with sanctions against countries that try to interfere in our elections. There's also a lot of newspapers and politicians that are coming out against this. 2 of the newspaper articles I was able to find were published by the Boston Globe and the Boston Herald, criticizing the president. Well, we're going to do another video here at some point in the future about these 2 publications. They wrote glowing articles about a guy named Whitey Bulger. Everybody knows who he is. Was not a nice guy. So what are you doing writing articles defending a guy like Whitey Bulger, and then you come out and attack the president? Some other politicians that are against Trump declaring a national emergency have been Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who stated, "You can't be in national emergency forever." Really, Tom? Why are we still in a national emergency from 1979? We're going to do a little looking and see whether you had voted, unsuccessfully probably because you're outnumbered, but I want to see what your record on that is. How many of these have you ever voted to overturn? And if not, how come Trump is the only one that can't declare a national emergency forever? You don't seem to have a problem with the 31 other ones that are still in effect. Some of the other guys that I just kind of caught offhand were Mac Thornberry, Republican from Texas, who thinks that it would damage the military. At some point, I might agree with that, but we'll see how you voted. And probably he did vote against Obama cutting funding to the military. Mac Thornberry seems like a pretty good guy. John Cornyn, also from Texas. Rob Portman from Oregon. Susan Collins from Maine. and Chuck Grassley from Iowa had all mentioned concerns that this might end up in the courts. I don't think any of the other 31 have ended up in the court, so why would this one end up in court? Is it only certain presidents that when they declare a national emergency that it's challengeable in court? Well, we're going to find out. Another gentleman who expressed reservation was Matt Gaetz from Florida, and his concern was that Democrats would use it in the future to try to get their agenda pushed. I can agree with that, Mr. Gaetz. I have respect for you. You seem to be a good representative. The only thing that I would say about that is that they don't use national emergencies to get their dirty work done. They use executive orders, kind of like Barack Obama did with his healthcare program. So to me, this is just all a bunch of bluster and a bunch of hype. Some other people that have been against this are Judge Napolitano, which is disappointing. You know, I thought he was a pretty good guy. He's also talking about it winding up in court. Again, have you been against the other 31, Judge? Well, we're going to do a little looking and see. The Washington Post, of course, I mean, that goes without saying. I saw a presentation on Fox the other day where Brian Kilmeade came out and said it was a bad idea. Again, we'll look and see what his stance on some of these other national emergencies have been as well. Getting sick and tired of these people talking out of both sides of their mouth. This is absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to do a little look in here, and we're going to find out where these people have stood on the 31 other national emergencies that have been declared. But don't pretend like this is the first time this has ever happened. This is actually an emergency in this country. And am I supposed to believe that national emergencies are only supposed to be something that we use to either put individuals from other countries under sanctions so we can get access to the funds that they have in this country? It's kind of interesting that out of all the 31 that have been declared, only 4 of them, no, excuse me, 5 of them have had anything to do with the national security of this country. The other 26 that are still in effect have to do with some other country or some other issue that, to be honest with you, I can't really buy this narrative that these are all somehow or another a threat to the national security of this country. Anyway, we'll be looking into this a little further, posting more videos. Please share our videos and get this information out. There's a lot of good information out there. We just need to get it in the hands of all the people that have similar views as us, other brother and sister patriots, and use this information. Use it to be able to argue against the people that you talk to on a daily basis, to expose the hypocrisy on both sides. Anyway, this is Jonathan E. with the Thermopylae Information Network. Again, please share our videos. Look for more of our videos. We really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.